It's officially spring weather on the mountain. As you can see behind me, there's no snow left. It'll be interesting to see if the weather stays warm, but I'm definitely not wasting any time getting back to things that need to get done outside. So the greenhouse is right where we left it, and one thing that has to happen before we start putting the polycarbonate panels on is that it has to get bolted to the foundation. So I'm gonna get a head start on that while Brian's on his bike ride. Also gonna get a head start on fixing up the bee apiary by tearing out the sod and putting down some weed stop and some gravel to help keep that grass out. That has been a problem in the past. Mowing by the beehives is just something you don't want to do. So definitely got my work cut out for me today. See what I can get done before Brian gets home. So these are the bolts that have to go into the bottom board of the geodesic dome. It's already got pre-drilled holes, so I just need to drill out the concrete underneath and then tap in the bolts, put a washer and a nut on it, and then we'll go around tightening them up afterwards. But it's gonna take a little while because I gotta use this hammer drill, and I'm a little bit short to have the leverage, so I gotta stand up on a block. All right, we got Brian back on the scene. I saved the pounding for him because he's got the forearm endurance for it. He's got the heft. Brian's got a pipe clamp because we discovered something that was wrong.
Got a nut came off here.
Look at that.
It's not lined up anymore.
The bolt came out and everything. Maybe the wind shifted it.
It probably was just finger tight because I hadn't really tightened any of them.
Oh, okay. There. That looked really hard.
Yeah.
I didn't think we could do it.
Yeah.
If you hit it wrong and you distort the top of the bolt, you're gonna have to file it down.
I don't think it's going anywhere.
No, it's bolted in. Now what?
Now we can do all those bolts and line everything up.
All right, so what's all involved in the alignment here?
So all the pentagons we can use the torpedo level on, and then we're gonna eyeball the rest of it.
Okay.
So we're looking for this here.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Well, it's been 2 seasons officially now since I've had bees in my beehives. As you can tell, it's in a little bit of disrepair. So I need to prepare my apiary and I need to prepare my beehives so they're ready for the bees in 2 weeks' time. One thing I need to do is I need to clear out all of this grass. As you might be able to tell, this is only my second time operating the backhoe on the tractor. I'm figuring it out, but it's definitely taking me 10 times as long to do this job than it probably should. Well, Brian probably would have done a more surgical job, but I definitely tore up the ground. So hopefully that disrupted the grass. And so now I could put some weed stop down after I kind of rake it out. Fun part done. Now it's time for the hard part. It's definitely going to take a lot of raking to get this pile of dirt level and ready for the weed stop to put down in some gravel. But just like that, Brian shows up and he's able to come in with reinforcements, with leveling out the job and adding some more dirt and smoothing everything out nice and flat. Definitely made faster work of it so we could get on to the next step of putting down the weed stop and the gravel. It's going to look good with all the small rocks around the edges.
Yeah, I'll get a scoop and
just put it all around it, yeah, like a border. It'll look good. A little bit of early spring, isn't it?
It's nice out.
And warm, almost. It's a little breezy, so the best.
That's why the greenhouse is going to go do so good. It's because of our location here.
A lot of sunshine.
East, south. It's going to be perfect.
One good thing that came out of last summer's excavation were all these piles of rocks that Brian collected from our greenhouse excavation. So can't complain about having all these materials to be able to edge and landscape the apiary borders with. The apiary is taking shape as we get the fence put back in. Brian's tapping in the T-post. One more thing that he wants to do is to fix the hinge on the door. And he wants to do that by welding some hinges on there permanently. So it'll be a little bit more structurally sound. And that'll be a nice enclosure for the bees. So, But let me tell you about how I worked on the beehives. I think you'll like this transformation of turning old beehives into new ones. My hives need a little preparation step to clean them up from all the garbage in there before I can get to the sanding or the wood burning. So that's what I'm doing right here. I love the wood burning step. It's so satisfying to transform not only the look of the wood, but the quality as well. Knowing that I'm killing all those pathogens and adding a layer of protection to the wood, and I can do it on every surface. All right, so I got all the wax cleaned up off of this, so now I'm going to sort of sand the edges to get some of that polyurethane off, and it's a real fixer-upper. Oh, next up is the wood burning. So I'm going to do the insides first. This is just going to just create a nice sterile environment. So I didn't go crazy wood burning the entire surface because I wanted to leave some room to add some designs. So on this box in particular, I've got plenty of face space so I can add some fun designs and maybe some pops of color. So let's take it inside and add the art. Just kind of making some leaves And some vines, curly Q, maybe a flower here. Kind of basic, but it's gonna look really cute when it's wood burned and stained. Right, so now the bee box is ready for a pop of color, and I'm gonna be using alcohol inks to add a little bit of color on there, and then I'm gonna seal it with a linseed oil, and we'll see how it looks. If you've ever used alcohol inks, you know that they can be a little bit messy. So my suggestions are to coat the surface with a little bit of hand sanitizer, which is alcohol, and that can help the alcohol ink spread. And using a Q-tip can help with this as well. But as you can see on my background, I had a little oopsie when I opened up the cap. So definitely you want to use this on a background where you're not worried about staining. So use a black background or outside. You don't want to get it on your floors or your furniture or your walls, but it definitely has a dramatic effect when you get it all together. Fortunately, you don't have to wait too long for the alcohol ink to dry. It only takes minutes. And then I can go over the surface with the linseed oil. This darkens the wood a little bit, but I think it's a really nice look. So starting with a blank canvas of sanded wood, I can wood burn the edges to give you that little bit of a framed look, and then add in the wood burn design and flip that over, and you'll see the pop of color with the alcohol inks and the linseed oil finish. Now I'm experimenting with another design that's not flowers, just trying to do a little hexagon action here, a little bit of honeycomb. I think that looks cool. Maybe if I want to wood burn the entire box, adding a little bit of alcohol ink to get a little yellow in there. So there's really, sky's the limit of what you can do with the alcohol inks and the wood burning combination. And to save a little bit of time, I'm just going to wood burn a few more sides to the beehive, and then I'll combine the look with wood burned sides and wood burned detailed designs with the flower. So the linseed oil I think is a great finishing tool, but look how bright it is when it's all finished. It is just absolutely breathtaking. I just am so pleased with how it came out. And to be honest, guys, I can't believe I've been keeping bees for over 12 years, and this is the first time I've ever decorated my beehives. And it's not just the outside of the hives, the inside has been completely transformed and preserved as well. So all the sides are dark and all of the junk cleaned out. It's going to be a nice new home for the bees this season. I'm super excited. I feel like I have brand new hives. I mean, they're transformed by fire. Let's see how those new hives look in the new apiary. Not too shabby. Definitely looks sharp and ready for the bees. I think the bees this year are really going to love their new home in the mountains.
It was a long day.
I think we made good use of the weather this weekend.
Yeah, we got the bee apiary all squared away.
How does that look, guys? That's sharp. Look at all the rock trim and all the gravel, and not going to have any overgrown grass this year or ever again.
No.
We got a few more key things we had to finish up on the greenhouse before we can kind of do that paneling. But it looks like another cold weather snap's coming in. So yeah, back and forth this time of year. We get some really nice weather, then we go back to snow. That's probably going to be the next 5 weeks or so.
Right. Yep. So, but we should get all the hubs tightened up on the greenhouse, I think, and get some strapping put on before we can do the paneling. So.
Yep, and the clouds are rolling in, folks. It's actually supposed to snow a couple inches tonight. Hard to believe since it was about hit 70 today. So
yeah,
gonna snow tonight. It's gonna be mild week, and then it's gonna snow on the weekend. But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting closer. Spring is here, and we're excited for it. It's really nice to be outside all weekend. That's for sure.
Yeah, I prefer to work outside. So.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one, and give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the projects. More to come.
Yep, it'll be a busy summer.
Yes.
Bye-bye for now.